You know, there is a certain kind of beauty that only arrives with time. It's quieter, softer, and far more meaningful than anything we ever chased in our 30s or 40s. And if you're anything like me, you've probably reached a point where you don't want to look younger. You simply want to look like the very best version of the woman you are today. I remember standing in front of my closet one morning, feeling frustrated. Nothing felt polished. Nothing felt intentional, and certainly nothing felt luxurious, even though I owned plenty of pieces that should have looked expensive. That moment made me realize something important. The elegance I was searching for wasn't hiding inside the stores or on the price tags. It was waiting in the way I put things together, in the quiet decisions I made before stepping out the door. And that's what inspired today's Golden Grace episode. Because the truth is, the style transformation I experienced came from small, simple habits. The kinds of things mature women often overlook because we've spent so many years taking care of everyone else. Today is your turn, your moment, your reminder that you deserve to feel confident, refined, and beautifully put together at any age. So let's gently step into the first secret that completely changed the way I walk through the world. Part 1. The Fabric Reset Ritual. One of the biggest surprises in my 50s was discovering just how much fabric affects perception. Not the brand, not the cut, not even the color, just the fabric itself. I once put on a blouse that I loved, but because the neckline was wrinkled and the shoulders looked slightly crushed, the entire outfit instantly lost its impact. It didn't matter that the blouse was well made. It didn't matter how much I had paid for it. What people noticed, and what I noticed, was that it looked tired. That moment taught me something profound. Elegance lives in the details, and those details begin long before you walk out the door. That's where my fabric reset ritual was born, and it is beautifully simple. Every morning, before I even think about accessories or shoes, I take a moment to gently refresh the fabric of whatever I'm about to wear. I don't iron the entire garment. I don't chase every wrinkle. Instead, I focus on the areas that shape my presence. I smooth the collar so it frames my face softly. I run my hands along the shoulders until the lines fall naturally. I give the front of the blouse a quick refresh so that it drapes the way it was meant to. And if the sleeves look stiff or creased, I give them a light pass as well, just enough to bring them back to life. This small ritual takes less than a minute, but the difference is astonishing. Suddenly, the same blouse looks structured, cared for, and intentionally chosen, even on days when I'm rushing or feeling tired. And something else happens too. Giving myself this tiny moment of care, especially as a mature woman who has spent decades prioritizing everyone else's needs, feels grounding. It feels like I'm telling myself, you matter. Your presence matters, and your day matters. Over time, this ritual has become less about fabric and more about mindset. Instead of stepping into the world feeling rushed or invisible, I step out feeling polished, refreshed, and quietly confident. And that, my friend, is the kind of beauty we earn with age. Part 2. The soft neutrals plus one accent method. Choosing colors in our 50s and 60s becomes an entirely new experience. The undertones of our skin begin to shift. The contrast of our features softens. Shades that once made us feel vibrant suddenly feel overwhelming or harsh. I used to stand in front of the mirror, wondering why outfits that looked great on the hanger didn't look as refined on me. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what had changed. But then I started simplifying. Not in a boring way, in a thoughtful, intentional way. I began dressing mostly in soft, gentle neutrals. And when I say neutrals, I don't mean only black or white. I mean the soothing, elegant tones that flatter mature skin effortlessly. Creamy ivories, warm camels, gentle taupes, deep navies, soft charcoals. Wearing these shades felt like exhaling after holding my breath. Everything looked smoother, calmer, and instantly more expensive, even when the pieces were incredibly affordable. But the real magic happened when I added one, and only one, accent. Just a single moment of color or texture that brought the whole look to life. Some days it was a deep burgundy handbag. Other days it was a silk scarf with rich forest green tones. When I felt bold, I chose a soft red lip. And on quieter days, a pair of tortoiseshell glasses added just enough interest without overwhelming my face. What I discovered is that For mature women, this one accent rule creates harmony. It prevents the outfit from feeling chaotic. It lets the eye rest. It gives your look that elegant, curated feeling. The kind of effortless polish you see in women who seem naturally stylish without ever appearing overdone. But beyond aesthetics, there's an emotional shift too. When you simplify your palette, something inside you begins to settle. You start choosing pieces that feel balanced rather than busy. Your mornings become easier because everything works together. And when you add that one beautiful accent, you feel intentional, expressive, and confidently yourself. This combination, the calm of neutrals with the personality of a single accent, is powerful. It communicates that you've reached a stage in life where you're not dressing to be noticed, you're dressing to be remembered. Part 3. The Invisible Coordination Principle. One of the most surprising discoveries I made after 50 was realizing how deeply the smallest details shape people's perception of my overall style. When we were younger, we could throw things together quickly and somehow the look still felt intentional. But as we mature, our presence becomes quieter, more refined, and the way we coordinate details becomes more meaningful. That's when I developed something I now call invisible coordination. It's not about matching every metal or every color. It's not about perfection. It's about choosing one subtle element in your outfit, just one, and allowing it to quietly guide the rest of your look. For example, if I choose a pair of glasses with warm gold arms, I let that warmth inspire the tone of my earrings or the finish on my necklace. If I'm wearing a bag with a soft pebbled texture, I let that texture echo gently through my shoes or even a bracelet with a similar feel. Sometimes the coordination comes through structure. A square handbag paired with a sleek belt buckle, both giving the outfit a sense of order. None of these details scream for attention. They simply whisper to each other, creating harmony in the background. And here is the beauty of invisible coordination. People may not consciously notice it, but they will absolutely feel it. They'll sense the cohesiveness, the calm, the quiet richness. They'll see a woman who pays attention, but not in a loud or overly polished way. Rather in the way mature women do, with intention and grace. This principle is especially powerful for us because our lives, our routines, and even our energy levels have changed. We no longer want to fuss over matching every single piece of hardware or accessory. We want simplicity. We want comfort. And we want style that doesn't demand too much from us. Invisible coordination gives exactly that. It allows you to look effortlessly expensive using pieces you already own. It creates a sense of refinement that doesn't feel forced. And most importantly, it allows your presence, not your outfit, to take center stage. Part 4. The Made-for-Me Fit Formula. There was a moment, and I remember it so clearly, when I slipped into a pair of trousers that I used to love. They were classic, beautifully made, and had always been flattering. But that day, something felt off. The hem hit at the wrong place. The waist didn't sit the way it used to. The silhouette no longer supported my shape. Instead, it made me feel shorter and wider. At first, I blamed the pants. Then I blamed the brand. And finally, I realized the truth. My body had changed. Not in a negative way. Not in a getting older is bad way. But simply in a natural, graceful way. The way time shapes us without asking for permission. That was when I embraced the made-for-me fit formula. Instead of trying to fit into clothes the way I used to, I started shaping my clothes to fit the woman I am now. And the transformation was instant. Suddenly, pieces I had owned for years looked brand new. Pants draped the way they were meant to. Blouses skimmed my shape rather than clinging. Jackets looked structured instead of overwhelming. The secret wasn't buying new clothes. It was tailoring the ones I already had. There is something incredibly empowering about looking in the mirror and seeing clothing that fits the curves, proportions, and posture you have today. When the hem of your pants falls exactly where your ankle wants it to be, when your sleeves stop at the exact place that feels flattering, when your waistline aligns with your natural silhouette, you don't just look refined, you feel supported. And here's something many women over 50 overlook. Tailoring isn't a luxury. It's an investment in yourself. A small adjustment can elevate the perceived quality of a garment tenfold. A simple alteration turns an ordinary piece into something that looks intentionally designed for you. And when clothes truly fit, they carry you, not the other way around. The Made for Me Fit formula is not about having the perfect body. It's about honoring the beautiful, capable body you have right now and letting your clothing celebrate it rather than fight against it. Part 5. The Elegance Triangle: Hair, Hands, and Posture. The three silent storytellers that reveal your true level of refinement. As I stepped further into my 50s, I realized that elegance wasn't only about clothes.
Elegance isn't
It
about
was also
complicated
about the way my
styles, but about
body, my
quiet
grooming, and
intentionality
my
and care
presence
for
worked
oneself.
together.
It is in
That
these
realization
moments where
led
we
me to
find
something
true
I call the
peace.
Elegance Triangle, which focuses on three areas that silently shape how the world experiences you: your hair, your hands, and your posture. Hair, first of all, is the frame of your face, the soft border that introduces you before you even speak. It doesn't need to be elaborate or youthful or styled like the latest trend. It simply needs to look intentional. A smooth ponytail, softly curled layers, or a simple blowout can elevate even the most casual outfit because it shows care. Not effort, but care. And women who care for themselves radiate a kind of strength that has nothing to do with age. Your hands tell another story. They are the part of you that moves the most, gestures the most, and expresses the most. After 50, hands naturally change, and that's okay. There is beauty in hands that have lived through decades of work, love, and experience. But what truly matters is how they are tended to. Soft, moisturized skin, neatly trimmed nails, a gentle sense of grooming. These simple acts bring grace to every movement, whether you're reaching for a glass, brushing your hair back, or greeting someone warmly. And then there is posture, the final point of the triangle, and perhaps the most transformative one. When you lift your chest just slightly, when your shoulders relax and widen, when your chin rises with quiet confidence, your entire outfit transforms. Clothes fall differently. Lines sharpen. Silhouettes lengthen. But more importantly, you feel different. It is as if your body remembers that it is strong, resilient, and deserving of space. The Elegance Triangle is powerful because it isn't about vanity. It is about presence. It is about showing the world that growing older doesn't mean fading. It means rising with dignity and softness at the same time. When these three elements align, something beautiful happens. People stop noticing your age and start noticing your grace. Part 6. The
I
Proportion
once
Glide
believed
Technique.
flattering colors and a decent
How to
fit
guide
were
the eye
enough,
upward and create natural
but
elegance
elegance
at
is
any
more.
age. There was a time, especially in my 40s, when I believed that looking polished simply meant choosing flattering colors or wearing clothes that fit reasonably well. But the older I grew, the more I realized that elegance is not just about what you wear, it's about how the eye travels when someone looks at you. And that discovery led to what I now call the proportion glide. This technique is wonderfully gentle and incredibly powerful, especially for women over 50. Instead of relying on stiff rules like loose on top, fitted on bottom, or structured jacket with slim trousers, the proportion glide encourages you to guide the eye naturally upward, creating a sense of height, balance, and effortless grace. When your outfit encourages the eye to move upward, from the hemline to the waist, to the neckline, and finally to your face, something remarkable happens. You appear taller, you appear lighter, you appear more intentional, even if your outfit is simple and relaxed. And for mature women, guiding the eye toward the face isn't just flattering, it's empowering, because our faces carry our wisdom, our warmth, and the stories of our lives. You can create this glide in many subtle ways. A softly draped cardigan that falls in a vertical line draws attention upward without any harsh structure. A V-neck top creates a gentle arrow toward your face. A scarf wrapped loosely near the collarbone adds movement that lifts the entire silhouette. Even a belt worn slightly higher than the natural waist can elevate your shape and prevent the eye from lingering on areas you'd rather not highlight. What I love most about this technique is that it adapts to every body type, every lifestyle, and every season of life. It doesn't force your body into an outdated mold. Instead, it honors your shape exactly as it is now and helps you present it in the most flattering, confident way possible. The proportion glide is not about hiding, it is about directing, not about disguising, but about celebrating. And that, for mature women, is where the true magic of style begins. Part 7. The Signature Touch Rule. the personal element that transforms your style from beautiful to unforgettable. As I moved through my 50s, I started paying close attention to the women who left a lasting impression on me. Not necessarily the most glamorous or trendiest women, but the ones whose presence lingered in a peaceful, memorable way. And I realized something beautiful. Every one of them had a signature touch. A signature touch is not about standing out loudly. It's about being quietly unforgettable. It could be a particular way a woman wears her scarf, almost like an extension of her personality. It could be the soft glimmer of a gold pendant she never takes off, not because it's expensive, but because it holds meaning. It could be the shape of her sunglasses, her understated red lip, or the elegant structure of her watch. Whatever it is, it becomes the gentle punctuation mark at the end of her outfit, the one element she chooses with intention, the one that tells her story without saying a word. The beauty of this rule is that it asks you to look inward. It invites you to think about who you are at this stage of life, not who you used to be. It encourages you to choose something that feels authentic to your spirit, your lifestyle, your energy. And once you choose it, you let it accompany you often enough that it becomes part of your visual identity. A signature touch doesn't have to be flashy. In fact, the most elegant ones rarely are. It simply needs to be yours. It gives consistency to your wardrobe, stability to your look, and a sense of presence that makes people say, yes, that feels like her. And for women over 50, this is incredibly powerful, because we are entering a stage where identity becomes deeper, more spiritual, more refined. We are no longer trying to be everything to everyone. We're simply expressing ourselves with honesty, grace, and quiet strength. Your signature touch becomes a celebration of your uniqueness. It becomes the reflection of the woman you've become, and it becomes the detail that elevates every outfit from nice to entirely unforgettable. Conclusion: a softer, more powerful kind of luxury. Now that we've walked through all 7 of these powerful yet gentle principles, I hope you're beginning to see what I eventually learned. Looking luxurious has nothing to do with age, nothing to do with perfection, and certainly nothing to do with owning a closet full of designer labels. True luxury, the kind that resonates deeply for women over 50, comes from intention. It comes from the tiny habits that make you feel cared for, the thoughtful choices that highlight your natural beauty, and the quiet confidence that grows when you finally dress for the woman you are today, not the woman you used to be. When you take a moment to refresh your fabric, you give yourself permission to slow down. When you choose soft neutrals with a single accent, you create harmony in your life, not just in your outfit. When you coordinate details quietly, people feel your refinement even before they recognize it. When your clothes fit the body you have now, you honor your journey. When your hair, hands, and posture work together, you embody grace effortlessly. When you guide the eye upward, you remind the world that your wisdom is your beauty. And when you choose a signature touch, you express your soul without speaking a single word. These aren't style tricks. They're acts of self-respect. And if you start applying even one of them tomorrow morning, you will feel it. In the way you move, in the way you carry yourself, in the way others look at you with a little more admiration, a little more curiosity, and a lot more appreciation. So my friend, which of these will you try first? As always, thank you for spending this time with me on Golden Grace. You are not just aging, you are evolving, refining, and shining in ways the world desperately needs. And I'm honored to walk this journey of elegance, confidence, and self-discovery with you.